for only $650, you can get yourself a life-size Good Guys doll.
Oh gosh.
Here we go. All of the team members that are waiting outside the gates are waiting to come in. Hey everyone from Universal Studios, we are here today because it is the annual pass holder preview of the Tribute Store, which is opening in just a couple of days. Tonight's also the team member preview of Halloween Horror Nights, but we're here to check out the store.
Yeah, it's a very exciting day. We get to go into the Tribute Store for the very first time. I'm so excited to see what it's all about. And like Matt said, it's team member previews tonight, so it's really like the first night for all of the scare actors. It's really exciting. We're planning on coming back for our first time on Saturday.
So before you know it, HHN will be kicking off, but for now, we're gonna stop over in the Tribute Store, give you guys a full walkthrough, show you all the merchandise that's in there as well. So let's not waste any more time and head inside. And before we head inside, just want to give you a quick look at the facade entrance. This is the Tribute General Store, and from what we've kind of known about it so far, it's going to be themed to like an old school comic book shop. So when you first come in, they have a whole bunch of masks up here in the top cabinet, and then there's like a comic book display. Comics for all ages. There's all different types of ones in here. They also have another display over here with some Universal Classic Monster Easter eggs. There's Frankenstein, the Creature, there's Dracula, Wolfman, another Frankenstein, the Phantom. Really cool that they have all these over here in their own little display. And then also over here, there's some more artwork on the wall, some comic books, and then this is meant to be like the cashier. You can see the register over here. Look at this. This is an old school register. It says Tribute Store Comics on it. And then look at that. Pretty nostalgic. McPherson's Collectibles, Cards, and Comics is the official name of the Tribute Store. We're about to head inside the first room, and we're going to be stepping inside Tribute of Terror. So we're going to keep an eye out for these creatures. We might see them. Here we go. Grave Consequences. Ah, very cool. Hollow Hill Cemetery. That was used, I think, in last year's Tribute Store. It says, good evening to tonight's first tale of terror. We find ourselves in Hollow Hill Cemetery on an appropriately creepy evening. Bernie and Jack are local lowlifes who are always out to make a quick buck, but tonight they will learn that their actions may have some seriously, and then it continues elsewhere. You can see they have these different characters set up as if you're stepping into the comic, and then you can follow the dialogue around the store. Of course, they have a bunch of merchandise for sale. It says exciting items for the whole family, and this is the Little Boo collection. We're not going to do like a huge deep dive into the merch because we did that in our last video, so if you haven't seen that, I'll link it up in the corner because a lot of this merchandise is repetitive, but there is some new stuff that we will show you. And it's so cool how they put like the comic book story to life. Like these are things that would just jump off the page. Crash. You can see the skeleton over there, and then they have a bunch of props around that make you feel like you stepped into the story. Of course, this is a cemetery-themed room. You have some headstones, some broken fences. Over here it says, how many times have we got to do this before you stop being a baby about it? And then it says, it's just always so creepy out here at night with the moon and the birds and all these here corpses right beneath our feet.
So right when we walked in, we noticed some new merchandise, and it's all themed after the scare zones. And I really like the sweatshirt. I love how it's like the tie-dye acid wash, and it's really, really soft. And they have the same design in a t-shirt as well.
That is really cool.
It's cool because it has like all the different scare zones on it.
Yeah, they have a scare zone specific shirt. There's Dr. Oddfellow right over there. See Magic Mystery, the Master of Horror, Dr. Oddfellow, and then they have the 5 scare zones represented here on the shirt. For $15, they have that same design, or a pretty similar design here on like a glass cup. So we're going to be stepping into the second of the comic book stories. Over here it says, welcome to the Big Apple, the city that never sleeps, but that doesn't stop it from having its fair share of nightmares. Better beware, this one is a story I like to call. Then we step inside. You can see the window for the Schuster Brothers, Private Investigations. Boris Schuster, of course, was featured in an HHN house a couple of years ago, and that's like some deep Universal lore. This is really, really cool. It's like we're stepping into like 1920s New York. See this graphic up here that keeps changing. It says False Idols Part 1 of Boris Schuster Mystery. And look at this room. They made it look like it's raining over here with the projections. That is so cool. Everything in here is black and white. Very like 1920s noir style. Really neat. We're gonna go around and take a look at the comics. They have Finnegan's represented over here. This comic said this city has a problem, a sickness, a plague, these creatures. Every day there are more of them. Not quite man, not quite fish, something else. No one knows what they are or where they came from. Looks like one of these creatures cost Boris Schuster a partner, a brother. So his brother died by the hand of that creature, it seems. They have this desk over here with all like old newspaper clippings, a magnifying glass, you can see Boris's hat, and then you have this window that looks like we're sitting on the inside of his office. It says Schuster Brothers Private Investigation, and then that rain effect, which is really, really cool. And look at this giant like octopus creature that is standing over the entrance to the hallway over here with that rain effect. Looks amazing.
Merchandise. They even have like a mystery pin collection box where you can like collect all 7 pins, and there's them on the back. You can actually probably see them better.
Yeah, here's a better look at the pins over here. So there's some new Stranger Things 4 merchandise. They have this really big mug over here, Vecna, Eddie Munson, the Creel House, the clock. This is really cool, and like a heavy duty mug too. For $12 they have a similar design on a glass. There's Max, Eddie with the bats, Vecna. Really, really cool. The artwork on here is awesome. Here's a quick overview of some more of the Stranger Things merchandise. They have a Hellfire Club snapback hat. There's a Hellfire Club like baseball tee. And this is really cool. They have like Eddie's jacket, the denim cutoff with like the hoodie material. And then this is the back of it. It says Hellfire Club and then Stranger Things on the back side of the hood. Surfer Boy Pizza is one of the food booths this year, so of course there's the Surfer Boy Pizza shirt. They also have a new Stranger Things t-shirt. Now this one is really cool. We got Vecna reaching out over the Universal Studios arches. It has the clock and the house. It shows Stranger Things 4. Then of course Halloween Horror Nights 2023 on the sleeve. This is $30. So they have all of the raining effects above, but then if you look on the floor as you're walking around, it looks like the raindrops are hitting the floor too. Also in the Boris Schuster room, they have an ad for the Dead Coconut Drive-In All-Night Monster Movie Marathon world premiere of Revenge of the Red Planet, which is the theme for this year's Red Coconut Club. Very cool. And you can see this is a red, it would be red if it wasn't in black and white, but that is a coconut right there. Very, very excited to check out the Coconut Club this year. Lots of details in this room. Really, really cool. And there's that same character. I don't know what his name is. He might have a name or he might just be new. I'm not 100% sure, but he's over here. Looks like he's at the end of every single room. It says nothing worse than getting put on the spot when you ain't got the goods. Can't wait to see how old Boris gets out of this one. So we are heading into the hallway now. It says welcome to the Tribute to Terror Hallway of Frights. And if you got yourself one of the comics, this is where you'll find it. We got one, but it's not in here yet because we just sent our picture in today. So probably within the next couple of days, we'll be able to see. These are really neat. You can see all the different comic variations. There's one over there. This is the one that we got. So if you come here in the next like few days, look for ours. We have this comic book cover. There's the black and white one, which is themed to the Boris Schuster room that we were just in. There's another one over here. I think they're actually still selling these, so if you wanted to do this, you could probably still do it. Like I said, ours will be up in the next few days, so I know that there's still a few that they have to put out. Now we're gonna head into the next room over here. Pay Up, Jim's Diner, a classic joint in a classic town. Now what's that I hear? The rumble of motorcycles. The local gang is on their way to pay a visit to old Jim. I have a feeling they may be up for more than just a fine cup of coffee and a slice of cherry pie. Watch your back, there's a guy right behind you.
Oh gosh.
This is really cool. Look at the neon Jim's Diner sign, food, coffee, and beer. Open 24 hours. So over here in the gym's diner room is where you can find the Chucky popcorn bucket. It is $45, and I think he talks, he lights up, his head might even move. It's pretty cool. Not the biggest Chucky fan, like I've said in other videos, but that is a well done bucket. Don't be a square. Check out these deals. And there's all Chucky merchandise. For some reason, they're selling these giant like Funko Pop masks this year. They had a Chucky one. There was an 11 one. In the other room as well, there's the candles, the popcorn, a lot of the same stuff that they're selling over in the 5 and Dime. But this backpack is pretty cool. I haven't seen this yet. For only $650, you can get yourself a life-size Good Guys doll. $650. Since this is a diner-themed room, here is the jukebox. Can't have a diner without a jukebox, right? They have another one of the Mold-O-Matics here. The previous room had the Bride, and this one has the Mummy for $8. And then look at this. This guy seems to be having himself a little bit of a rough day. Sitting over here. He didn't even get to eat his grilled cheese sandwich and his soup. It's just left untouched. He died before he can even eat it. I have a feeling these are going to be pretty popular this season. They're selling Chucky like overalls, but they're made of like kind of like a sweatshirt, like a sweatpant type of material. It's a little heavy for Florida heat, but it says "Wanna Play" on the pocket. They're also selling some Good Guys bucket hats, and then that Chucky sweater that we saw the other day too. So we are leaving Jim's Diner now. Decent room, definitely not my favorite out of the ones we've seen so far. And now we're stepping into the Eyes of the Ripper. Welcome, my friends, to the Whitechapel district of London. The year is 1888, and I have a fiend I would like to introduce you to. And there he is again, and you can see they have the comics around telling the story. It's pretty cool. There's a decent amount of people in here right now, and you need a lot of time to kind of go through the story, so we might come back and do a deeper dive a little bit later on, but I do like how they are kind of like forcing you to spend time in each of the rooms. They are actually selling one of the comics. It says here on the front, a collection of 4 horrifying stories, and it's like an actual real comic book. It's really, really cool. If you're an HHN fan, this is like a great memento. There's a closer look at the rest of the room here. Really, really spooky in here. The lighting is amazing. The theming's really cool. They even got some creatures around. Then here is the end of the story over here. It says, if you find yourself in the Whitechapel area, be sure to check every alley, every doorway, and every corner. You never know if the Ripper might still be lurking. You can see the knife with the bag over there, and then the Ripper stands over you as you make your way out of the store. This is kind of a cool detail. If you look over there by the door, it goes from like black and white bricks back into color bricks, and you can even see the sign is split in half. It says back to street this way. Half of it's black and white, half of it's in green. On the way out, there is a newsstand over here. We're trying to find some Easter eggs. We couldn't really see anything just yet, other than the fact that through here, and I'm not gonna be able to show you, but there is a picture frame right there, and it's Jack the Clown, but you have to get real close to be able to see it.
So they are setting up for the team member preview right now, and they are kicking us out, but we saw a few extra things that we wouldn't have been able to if we weren't here. Like they were taking like the 60s like Beetle car out and putting it in the middle of the street in one of the scare zones, so that was really cool to see. And they're just like, it's just such an exciting time. They're all getting like ready. I'm so excited to come and experience it for myself.
So we're making our way out of the park now, but all of the team members that are waiting outside the gates are waiting to come in. So we are sitting outside of the park now. We got one of the treats from the tribute store, the Chucky Trifle Cake, I believe it's called. So we're gonna try that in just a second, but I thought the tribute store was really cool. I like how they made you step inside of each of the different comic book stories. I thought that was really neat. The only thing I will say is that like the average person is probably not gonna have any idea what's going on in there, because you really need to kind of go around and read all of the different like comic book strips. I think it's a really neat touch. I'm a comic book fan. I have comic books. I'm a nerd when it comes to that kind of stuff. But I think for like the average person, a lot of it's gonna go right over their head, especially all of the Boris Schuster stuff, because 9 out of 10 guests that probably come to Universal, well, maybe not that high, but I would say at least 3/4 of the people in the park probably have no idea who Boris Schuster is. So that whole room that's dedicated to him that's really meant for like the hardcore Universal fan, the HHN fan, and as somebody that is both of those, I loved it. So I thought the tribute store was great. I love the concept of putting yourself in the comic book cover. I think that hallway is really cool because sometimes they do those things and it's like a hit or miss. That's really unique, and you get to bring the comic book home, so that's cool too. But yeah, overall, I thought the tribute store was very, very well done. I don't think it's going to be for everybody just because of like how nuanced each of the rooms are and how you have to kind of read along every single thing to follow the story. But for someone who's a fan of that type of thing, I really enjoyed it.
So I liked it as well. I don't know if I liked it as much as Matt. I thought that they did a really great job with all of the theming and all the details. They always do an awesome job. Like every little detail, like you could spend so long in there just like reading through everything, finding different like Easter eggs in there. I think that the reason I might have not liked it as much as Matt is because I'm not like a huge comic book person. So I know Matt was saying he really likes to like, you know, read into it all and like go through all the details of it. But I still thought it was really cool. Like I said, the details were really awesome, but I feel like I also can't compare it to a lot of stuff because last year was our first time at HHN and our first Halloween tribute store. So I don't have like a ton to like compare it to, but I don't know if I would say that it was like my absolute favorite.
Now it's time to try one of the treats from the tribute store. This is the Chucky trifle cake. I'm assuming this is like white chocolate. It says "Wanna Play" on it, and then even has some like fake blood drizzled on it, which is cool. It has a blue icing, and then the actual cake itself is kind of like Chucky's sweater. So it looks pretty neat. We're gonna dive in and see how it is.
I'm trying to figure out what the butcher knife is like made out of, because at first I thought it was a cookie, but I don't think it is. I think it's almost like, I don't know, it's like hard something.
We gotta take a bite into it and see if we break our teeth or not.
And I have a feeling like a lot of Chucky stuff, isn't it like flavored like raspberry or something like that? So I have a feeling that the inside might be like raspberry layers, but we'll see. I'm pretty sure this is carrot cake.
You know what I'm pretty sure of?
What?
Your whole mouth is blue.
Is it? Oh my god, well I got like a huge scoop of the icing, but I'm trying to dig down into the cake so I can see exactly what it is, but yeah, it's definitely, it's carrot cake.
It's time for a blue mouth and blue teeth, so don't judge us because it's part of the process. Yeah, it's definitely like a carrot cake.
I literally had like 2 scoops so far.
Yeah,
and then look.
Your whole mouth and all your teeth. Like I said, don't judge us. It just kind of comes with the territory. The cake is good. It's really good, actually. I like the little bit of raspberry that they drizzled on the top of it. It's really sweet. Now, I want to try that butcher knife because I'm very curious what that's made out of. Yeah, the knife is just a piece of like milk chocolate. It's good though, because it's like right by the raspberry, so you get the chocolate and the raspberry flavoring. I like this cake. It's a little bit on the pricey side. I want to say it was like, I don't know, like 13-ish bucks if I remember correctly, but it is very, very good. Would I get it again? Probably not, just because of the price. A lot of the tribute store snacks are overpriced. Stick with like a cookie or something along those lines so you're not breaking the bank. But flavor-wise, this is really, really good. We're starting to make our way back towards the parking garage. Look at all of the team members just hanging around, waiting to be let in for the start of the event. Something that we didn't show in the beginning of the video is the house posters that are up here. There's Stranger Things and The Exorcist. There's The Last of Us, Chucky, and the Universal Monsters over there. All right, so that is going to do it for our trip out here to Universal to check out the tribute store. Like I said, we're kind of like split down the middle on it. I really, really liked it. You're kind of like on the fence.
Yeah.
But we'll see if our opinions change like as the season goes on. But I do have to say, just being here on the night of the team member preview is like a giant tease.
Oh yeah.
Like we just walked by everybody waiting to get in, and like you can feel the excitement. Everyone's all dressed up, ready to go for HHN. And I just wish we could go in tonight.
I know.
We gotta wait.
We only have 2 more sleeps until opening night. We won't be there on opening night, but we will be there on Saturday.
Yeah.
And I just am literally counting down the days. I cannot wait.
It's going to be a good year. I am very, very excited for this year's Halloween Horror Nights. So if you enjoyed coming along with us today, make sure you give the video a nice big thumbs up. Let us know what you thought down in the comments below of this year's tribute store and what house you're the most excited for this year's HHN event. And with that being said, we'll see you guys real soon.